Oh, do not get heartburn right now. Ugh. I got my shirt on for this. Yeah. We're definitely going to need Jesus after this story. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something entirely different, something that I have never done. Never, but I do enjoy. So I'm going to be doing a story time video. No, this is not like story time channels where they kind of go outrageously over the truth. This is just the truth, what happened to me, a story of my life. It's going to be a little bit ridiculous, but hey, it's Easter, and this is a little bit Easter related. So I thought that it just fit perfectly, and I asked you guys on Snapchat if you wanted to hear it, and so many of you said yes. If you're not following me on Snapchat, please do. Right here. Wait, where is it? Right here? I think it's right here. Follow me there because there are so many shenanigans that we get into over on Snapchat. I always tend to get myself in trouble. It's just a lot of fun. Oh shit. I don't know how I'm going to tell a story when I can't even get through the intro without being out of breath. This baby is killing me. So in order to start this story, we have to go way back in the past. And I'm talking like 24, 25 years ago. I was about 5 or 6 when this happened, but I remember it so vividly and it traumatized me so bad that the effects of it still are with me today. So it's something that not a lot of people know, only my immediate family and my husband actually. I don't even think I've told any of my friends this story because when you're an adult it just seems so ridiculous, but even today as an adult I know that it wasn't something I dreamt up or it wasn't something that I saw as a child that I was making up in my head. It was completely real what happened to me, and it went along with a lot of things that happened back then. So back when when Niki was so young and free, I was like 5 or 6 years old, and we had just moved to a new town, and we bought this 3 or 4 story house right next to my grandparents. It was beautiful. It had a pond in the backyard, but it was old and it needed to be renovated. So when we got there, we moved in, but as we were moving in, we also renovated the place. So we were ripping out a lot of walls, we were redoing a lot of stuff, we were painting, we were, you know, knocking down walls and making new rooms and all this other stuff because there was a lot of people living in that house at the time. So we were changing things up, and weird things started happening in that house, and it just got really weird. And if it wasn't for the fact that my mom, my brother, and my sister all had experiences in that house, I probably would think it was just me being a crazy little kid, but it wasn't. And they still remember these things vividly happening as well. So this is probably like the opening to my paranormal experiences in life and why I believe in paranormal so much still to this day. So weird things would happen, like we would come home, and mind you, this was up in the country. You know, so, I mean, up in the country. There weren't homeless people. There weren't people just walking the road. It wasn't near a town. We were up in the sticks. And we would come home from being downtown, and there would be a whole layout, like someone was making a sandwich in the kitchen. And this happened constantly, almost every single time. And the doors would be locked, the windows would be locked, and it just continued to happen. And it would freak my mom out so bad. She would call my dad right up at work, and you know, he'd be like, oh, you know, it was probably you and you forgot. You're probably making the kids lunch and you just forgot. And she's like, sure, 3 or 4 times a week. Sure, okay. So things like that would happen, and then, you know, we would hear walking in the night to the point where I got so afraid to go out into the hall to go to the bathroom that I would pee to bed. And or one time I peed down the register. No joke, I did that because I was that terrified. And my sister one time saw a guy dressed in army gear walking up and down the hallway, and it terrified her, and she didn't tell us for years, but she was older than me, and she started bedwetting too, and my mom knew that there was a problem, and she ended up coming out with the fact that there was a guy, and I guess that he reached through the wall and grabbed her or something. I mean, it was a whole huge ordeal for her, so she went through her own things too. But what ended up happening with me, and the point of this whole thing, now that we're leading up here, I was constantly not being able to sleep. I was afraid of the dark because of the things that were happening in this house. It was getting very, very bad. I couldn't go downstairs in the morning and watch TV by myself because I always felt like something was staring at me, like something was watching me. And it was just such a menacing and horrible feeling that it would terrify me to where I would run back upstairs, jump in my bed, pull the covers over my head, and I wouldn't move until I heard someone else awake. So, oh, it gives me the chills to think about this. I mean, this was just, oh, it's so vivid. Ooh. So I was having trouble sleeping at night, and one night I remember that I kept hearing this really weird giggling, and it was freaking me out. And it wasn't like, sorry, I have my window open if you can hear that, but it wasn't like a little girl laugh. You know, that's creepy enough as it is. I don't do little kids and paranormal shit. Fuck that, I'm out. But it wasn't even like that. It was like a cartoon giggle. It was really, really weird. It wasn't normal, and it was scaring me. And my room was like here. My sister's room was right across the hall, and then down the hall a little ways was my parents' room. So I ran in there in the middle of the night, and I asked them if I could sleep with them. I was just so scared. I had never heard that before. That was a new thing that started happening that night, and I just wasn't for it. Like, I was like, no thank you. I'm going into my parents' room. So I went in there, and they reluctantly let me sleep in the middle of them. I'm a kicker. I kick in my sleep, so no one wanted to let me bunk with them. But they let me sleep in the middle of them, and I remember that they had just shut off their lights, and I was laying there like this, just listening to everything. I felt a little bit more safe there with my parents, but it was literally like 5 or 10 minutes. I was not asleep. I hadn't even gone to sleep at that point yet. Like, I was wide awake. I wasn't tired. I was terrified out of my mind. And I'm laying there, and I remember perfectly I heard the giggle again. And my parents slept with their door open. So I'm like in the middle of my parents with the blankets on like this, and I look over towards the door. And this seriously traumatized me for a very long time. It was very hard for me. And you guys are going to laugh your ass off when you hear this. You know, it's funny when you hear it, but when you live it, it's not fucking funny. And I look over, and there's this tall Easter bunny in the doorway. I am not shitting you. It's not like, it's like a person in a fake Easter bunny outfit just standing there. Very, very tall. Its ears reached the top of the doorway, and it was just standing there. It was just a silhouette. And I'm just like, what the fuck? You know, like 5, 6 years old, I'm just like, oh, you know, like I throw the blanket over. I literally have chills so bad right now. I throw the blanket over my head. And I'm just like, this is not happening. This is not happening. And I instantly, because I have really bad asthma, so the blanket being over my face was not cool. I instantly pulled it down from my face to catch my breath. And all of a sudden, that bunny head pops up from the side of the bed by where my dad was. And it pops up so fast, and it literally felt like it was right in my face. And when I looked at it, I could literally see that it wasn't a mask it was wearing. It was a real, like, bunny, but it was, like, evil. And it had red eyes. I'm so sorry. This is so funny to other people. It terrifies me. I remember it so vividly. It had red eyes, and I literally could see its whiskers and its nose twitching. And it kind of like smirked at me and tilted its head, and its teeth were brown and yellow and like rotting looking. And I screamed bloody murder. Like, I mean, screamed bloody murder. My parents turned on their lights. I was still screaming. And then all of a sudden, my parents' door slams shut. This literally makes me feel sick. It makes me feel sick. Now, when the door slammed, that's when my dad, like, shot right up out of bed, because that wasn't something that I was just fabricating as a child. That wasn't something that I was seeing as a child. My dad was not into the paranormal. He did not believe in that. So when he heard that, he thought there was an intruder. And so he got up, ran out, checked the whole house. Everything was locked up. Everything was fine. And nothing else ended up happening that night. My parents never believed me. Never believed me that it really happened. And to this day, it's still kind of a ha-ha-ha thing, except for my sister. Because she had so many experiences in that house too, she completely believed me. And I never saw that bunny again. Never saw it again. But I did continue to have issues in that house until the house burnt down. The house actually ended up burning down while we were on vacation. And maybe it was a blessing in disguise, but the trauma from that is that I could never go near the Easter bunny again. There isn't a single picture with me with the Easter bunny because I could not go near it. I physically couldn't. Like, I would pee my pants, I would hyperventilate, I would beat the crap out of the thing, like the poor person under that outfit, but I couldn't do it. I was completely traumatized. And sadly, to this day, I still can't take my kids to see the Easter Bunny without being so completely uncomfortable that I feel ridiculous and I just walk away. Like, I get the shakes, I get scared, I get very uncomfortable. I do not like anything in those outfits. Anything. Anything that's dressed up in big outfits, I can't go anywhere near them. They terrify me. So that one experience just completely traumatized me in such a childish and stupid way. But I wasn't half asleep. I wasn't sleeping. I had just barely gotten in my parents' bed. I was trying to calm myself down from the giggling. And that happened. And it was so vivid that I can still remember every single detail to this day. So that is something that... Are you laughing? You're probably laughing about this, but it's something that happened to me. And I mean, I have a lot of experiences like that. My sister does too, especially in that house, but in other places too. Just a lot of weird, crazy stuff. But that is the one that traumatized me, that stuck out the most. And since it's Easter, I thought it kind of fit, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm sorry if my storytelling sucks, because this is the first time I've ever done it, so I could be very, very bad at this, but that is just what happened. That's exactly what happened, how it happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to let me know in the comments, and maybe I can do some more of these if you guys are interested in it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're having a fantastic Easter with your family or at home if you don't celebrate, whatnot. I just hope you have a lot of fun today, and thank you for stopping by and listening to my story. As ridiculous as it sounds, but thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.